Hi everyone. I'm sorry for the issues with my connection yesterday, but now let's get to work on our hands-on tutorial for deploying a decentralized application on Metis. So what we are going to be covering today is this material here in which basically we use Scaffold it2 to make our life easier and deploy our first decentralized application with just a few steps, right? So the first thing that you're going to be doing is cloning the repository. It's fairly simple. You just click here on copy, open Visual Studio Code, then go and open a new terminal. And then you just have to go, I like to go to my desktop to do this. And then I just click paste, right? So what it will happen is that it will take a few minutes to actually get all of the files here. Let's check it out. So let's change here to scaffold. All right, I think it's all good. And then the second step would be to install the dependencies with yarn. So we do yarn install here. And this is what uh, we have to wait a little bit, but it's not that much. And in the meantime, let me tell you about what is like the challenge for you, right? Because what we will be doing here is in only three steps, we are going to be spinning up our first decentralized application, but this will be on the local network of Hardhat. And what we want to do is to modify the back end and the front end of this decentralized application and then deploying on Metis, right? So what I am going to be covering today is not only spinning up this application, but also deploying on the Metis L2 chain. But what I am not going to be doing is this edition here. So for you, it will only be as simple as going into these pages, page.tsx, and pasting this code. And then for the section of your contract.sol, add this function to store a number, and then repeat the step three, which is something that I'm going to be showing explicitly to deploy on Metis, right? So it's going to be fairly simple and straightforward. Now, let's see if things here are done. It is still taking a little bit. It's I would say it's normal, and we shouldn't be concerned about, because in the meantime we can also check out the Metis documentation, right? So each time that you are going to start working on a project, I would 100% recommend going and checking the documentation, because without the documentation you just don't know where to get started, right? So here we have a sort of kickstart uh, guide, mini guide here with all of the details about what is the basic information of the network, what is like the main Solidity version that we recommend, what is the RPC. Here's some extra information about the EIPs and what's not supported. Not really relevant, but for us, it's also relevant. This link here for the faucet. Here it is, and here you can get test tokens, right? So here you have to essentially paste your wallet address, and then you have to solve this captcha, and you can request some funds. You can use this, I think, like 2 or 3 times a day, so it's okay, and it will give you enough funding to deploy your contracts without any issue. Metis is very cheap, and it's very easy to use, so shouldn't be an issue for you. Now, we have completed the installation of our dependencies, and then let's check out what is the next step. The next step involves run a local network. So we will open, well, we will use the same terminal here, and we will just type here yarn chain, right? So fairly simple again. Let's see if this works properly or not. And what happens when we do this is essentially we get a bunch of private keys and accounts. You can actually use this private key and import on your MetaMask wallet, but this is for Hardhat. It's not very relevant for us right now. And let's open a new terminal. Okay, let me go to the main pad I was before, desktop, and then I was in scaffold, right? All right, I guess I am going to check that here I am on the same path as well. All good, right? Yes. Okay, what is the next step? Let's check out. The next step is to press yarn deploy. Now, here I want to do something again to open the folder that I used to have here on my desktop that I just cloned, right? So let me check this out. This is scaffold it. I'm going to select this folder, and unfortunately, this kind of resets the terminal, so we're gonna have to do that again. But what I wanted to show you is, okay, these are all of the things that are inside of a scaffold it, and the things that you are really going to be concerned about is mainly this folder that says packages, mostly because here it is your front end on Next.js and your back end on Hardhat, and specifically what you want to edit is mostly your contracts, right? Which is your contract.sol. So that is one thing that you are going to be touching, and the other one is inside of Next.js, right? So let's go step by step. First, let's open again the terminal, and okay, we already installed all the dependencies, but let's go one more time and start our chain. Okay, so we have one network, and it's all good. We know that this already is going to give you the private keys of a bunch of accounts, not really relevant. And the second step is now do the command of yarn deploy, so that we can deploy the smart contract that says, your contract of sol. It's here again. I'll show it. uh, I don't really know what is right now the content of this, because for this tutorial is really not the main point. You can check out all of the code, and we will see what is it when we deploy the app. So it's okay if I just go now and do yarn deploy. Nothing to worry about. Now, this is going to take just a few seconds, and as you can see, it says here that it compiled it, it deployed it, it gives you the transaction address, sorry, the contract address, and we see that there is an initial greetings here and some things that were triggered when we deployed the smart contract. Now, the next step would be to deploy the front end, right? So to deploy the front end is as simple as typing yarn start, right? So let's do this, yarn start. So we have a local network, we have our smart contract deployed, and now we are going to deploy our front end. So it seems that it's ready here on localhost 3000. Let's check it out. A little bit slow, but it's okay. It's okay. We can give it a few seconds to see how this works, okay? In the meantime, let's go back to the tutorial. So right now we just completed this fourth step here, and we are actually now trying to visit our decentralized application on localhost 3000. Um, we are going to be able to interact with the smart contract that we deployed on the debug tab that is on the front end. And you can tweak the app config here in the scaffold.config.ts to essentially change a little bit the configuration of specific things that we are going to be actually doing on the third step. Remember, now that you have uh, your decentralized application running. Here we can see this. Uh, we see that we are on the wrong network. We're going to switch back to Hardhat, which is like the local network that we essentially, deployed. And we have like this debug tab. Please load faster. Okay, good. And we can interact with it. We can write to this contract here. I can say hello here, something like that. And I should be able to, go into this something is happening here. I don't know if it's my MetaMask. Account one is not connected. Okay, I don't have to do this, but let's see if this works by importing Hardhat. So let's see if we can make this work, because it's not switching directly. It's not even connected here. It's very strange. There you go. Okay, so you just have to mess around here with switch the tab for connection, and it will work. So we can grab a faucet tokens. One thing that I want to stress now is that we are given this wallet address here, which is not, it ends with DP, and it's not exactly the same that we have on our MetaMask, right? Because this is another account, so it makes sense. Scaffold is going to give you a new account. So, Okay, now we grab some faucet. We're gonna say here hello. We're gonna send this. We see that the greeting parameter change. That the total counter now, we added a one because we interacted one time. If we do it again, it's going to change again, right? So we have now two. The last state of the greeting variable is now high. And I think we are good to keep exploring. Just notice that you also have a block explorer when you create your decentralized application. So this is a full decentralized application that we spin up with only three commands. It's fairly simple and it's fairly good and fairly rich. Now, what do we have to do now? I want to deploy contracts on Metis, right? I don't want to deploy on Hard Hat. So let's go now and see what do we have to do now. The first thing that it says is that we have to do yarn generate in order to get like a new public keys and private key as well. So let's do this. Let's check out like this second terminal and let's do yarn generate. So let's see what happens with when we do this. It should be able to generate a new wallet for us here, and we have a private key that has been saved to packages hardhat emp file. So if we go to packages, we are in hardhat, and then we can see this emp. So pay attention to this because it generated a new deployer private key. And I'm showing this to you. You should never do, right? Because if you reveal your private keys, everybody can get access to it and get access to your funds. And we don't want that. But of course, this is for testing purposes only, so it's all good, right? So actually, let's do the following thing. Let's use this private key and import this wallet on our MetaMask and send some funds. Uh, let's open here MetaMask and let's do add account or wallet, then import account, then enter your private key string here. I'm just pasting this. And as you can see, we have a new account. It doesn't have any Metis on it. It makes sense because we haven't sent anything. Let's see if I can send from here to this account. Let's say, how much do we have? Okay, just 0.92 have something else. Oh, it says that I cannot do this for some reason. I've been experiencing some issues with, with sending funds on MetaMask lately. So I'm gonna use Ravi to send the funds, but still you can give it a try and see if you can, remove, clear the cache and all that kind of things in order to, solve this issue. So give me 1 second while I'm sending, fundings to this new wallet that I was given from Hardhat, and let's check it out. So just 1 second here while I'm typing like my secret key for my wallet on Ravi. And this is obviously private, so you are not going to see anything. You just have to wait a little bit until I get to solve this issue. And it's fairly simple, right? Like, I mean, sending transactions on Metis is something that anybody can do in just a few seconds. So this shouldn't be an issue. And we get to test the network live, right? Very important thing, stress testing your network and your application. So I'm almost done with this thing here. I'm sorry that you cannot see anything, but what I'm doing is on another screen open Ravi and sending some fundings to this new wallet in which I am going to be deploying. Uh, I'm going to use this to deploy on mainnet my contract, right? My contract was previously on the Hardhat network. I'm here on the Hardhat network, but what I want to do is to deploy on Metis, right? So the first step that I did here was just to do a generation of a new key, and then I imported this on Metis, and boom, I have now some funding that I got from the Ravi wallet that I just used. Now, it's all good. Um, so we have the private key saved in the packages, right? Remember, if you show this, you lose access to your account. Anybody can get access to it. And then I just imported my wallet on MetaMask and I sent some funds. And now I can actually check like the status on Yarn account. But first, I think it's better to edit the hard hat config and add the Metis network. So I'm gonna copy this here. And what I am going to be doing now is going back into the code and check out the hard hat config, because this is the script in which we have all of the networks that you can use on hard hat. And Metis at the moment, it doesn't come as default, but it's fairly simple to add it. So you see I'm here on hard hat config. I am here on this space where it says like networks, and inside this we have a bunch of networks, and we have Arbitrum, we have Ethereum, and now we're gonna be having Metis, of course. So let's do this and just copy paste. Remember to save. If you don't save, obviously this is not going to work. Now, okay, this should be working now because I added the config, the network on the config. And just to check out, we can use this command yarn console, that if I am on Metis and I added the configuration here, then I should be able to see some funds on this wallet, right? Because I just use it to send some funds here. So this is sort of a cross check that you can do. And now it's showing me the public address, and it's showing me the balances on these different on these different networks. On Andromeda, which is the mainnet of Metis, I have 0.01. This is something that you can clearly check on your MetaMask wallet, right? I have 0.01, and this is my public address. So it's all good. It's all good. Now we can keep moving forward. We can deploy on testnet by typing the command yarn deploy, then network slash network, and then Metis for the testnet, but we're going to be deploying on the mainnet immediately. So we're going to type just yarn deploy Metis Andromeda. And let's see what happens when we do this here on the terminal, yarn deploy Metis Andromeda. It should be all good, right? Deploying your contract. Okay, this is good news, I guess. Let's see if how much time does it take in order to deploy here. Okay, it was fairly fast. So we have now the contract address here, and it generated the same greetings, right? Building unstoppable apps. And let's see this on the Metis Explorer, because probably what we yeah, no, not probably. For sure, what we want from you is that you send us like the proof that you deploy your contract on Metis. That's the whole task, right? That's the whole goal, that you can check while deploying your decentralized application. So I'm here on the Metis Andromeda Explorer. I'm going to copy here the contract address. And as you can see, the contract has been created and it's all good, right? So if you send a link for this with the contract details, and it should be all good, and you just deploy your contract. Now, still on Hard Hat, we need to, I think we need to update the front end. And in order to do that, we just have to change the scaffold config.ts and edit the target network fields to add the Metis chain. Let's do that as a final step here. I don't remember exactly where is the scaffold.it here. I think it was on packages, Next.js, and there it is, scaffold config.ts. So I am here on this script scaffold config.ts, which is on the packages for the front end. And I am going to change here the chain from hard hat to Metis, right? It's fairly simple. And I am going to just be saving this. And I am going to be refreshing the Well, I don't even have to refresh. Look at this. It's refreshing on its own, and it seems that it's going to now go to the Metis network. So I'm just gonna connect my MetaMask wallet now that we did this update on the front end, and this is a great feature because it's fairly simple to use. And I'm now on Metis. Look at this. This is my MetaMask wallet connected on my decentralized application, right? I have less fund that I had initially because I deployed a contract. So that's obviously not an issue. Uh, okay, let's go now to the debug contract, and let's say hello Metis, right? Hello Metis, and let's say that I want to interact with this contract now. Obviously, it's going to prompt now your MetaMask wallet, and you're going to be spending a little bit of gas from doing this interaction because you are now on mainnet and this is the contract that you just deployed. So this is your first decentralized application on Metis using Scaffold. It was fairly simple, I would say, and now you're all set, right? Amazing. Thank you very much. Let's take a look here and let me stop this recording.